Notorious BFG. Come on up here. Yes, okay. I'm excited. I want to see what you got to offer.
Thank you, Stacy. The bald fat grandpa is in the house.
Let's go, buddy.
Notorious BFG. Kind of fits. Became a grandpa in January.
Woo!
Used to be notorious bald fat guy, but now it's notorious bald fat grandpa. But I got to tell you, it's Pride Month. So I got a little confession to make that I'm finally good with. This was back in the 70s. It wasn't such a big deal back then in terms of publicity, but I am transgender. In 1972, I transitioned from female to male. So now I'm 67 years old, and I gotta say, I kind of regret it. Because every time when I get out of the shower now, I turn and I go, I let them cut my boobs off for this. Just so the lines were shorter in the men's room. All right. But I'm 67 years old. I don't get laid much. No. At my age, the most exciting thing about sex is sneaking out without paying for it. But I have my memories. Back before I transitioned, 1970, Costa Rica, spring break. I had sex with 13 people over the course of 3 days. Let's hear it for the effort. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't brag about it because I got arrested and gang raped in jail.
Oh, God, dang.
Yeah. Oh, well. But I've been married to a wonderful woman. She's Hispanic. She's beautiful. She's athletic. Love of my life. 32 years. Going on 32 years. But it's not my first marriage. No, I've been married 3 times before, but I've never been divorced.
Shut up.
How does that happen? Right? My first wife died from eating poison mushrooms. My second wife died from eating poison mushrooms.
What?
My third wife, what do you think?
Mushroom?
Nah, fractured skull. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she wouldn't eat the goddamn mushrooms. Oh, but I'll tell you what, I love her to death, but after 33 years, we still fight. Every once in a while we fight, and I got in the doghouse a little bit. We're in a fight, and she said, if you are going to grow as a person, you need to learn how to embrace your mistakes. Embrace your mistakes. So I gave her a big hug. Oh, that didn't put me well. So I had to think about something to do about it, maybe get back in her good graces. I knew she wanted to go to Europe. So I went out and I got a map of Europe. I took it in the kitchen, hung it on the wall, and gave her a dart. I said, sweetheart, you throw that dart, and where it lands, that's where we're taking our next vacation. So next summer, we're going to spend 1 week behind the refrigerator. I laughed so hard at that, I was even in more trouble. So I had to think of something and did something maybe a little drastic. You guys tell me. I went out and I had I love you tattooed on my penis. I love you tattooed on my penis. My wife wasn't impressed though. She said I was just trying to put words in her mouth. Everybody likes that one. I'm a practicing attorney. My friend, a dear friend, sat there and both practicing attorneys. Been at it a while, 42 years. Believe it or not, I'm just about ready to give that up. But it has provided me a little bit of financial success, so I indulge myself every once in a while. In fact, just last week, in time for the summer, they finished my second swimming pool. My second swimming pool, yeah. In fact, I'm not even going to put any water in it. It's going to be for my friends who can't swim. Okay, just think about that one. That won't be for me. I always like that one. But I'll tell you what, I am lucky to be here. I'm lucky to be anywhere because in November, while I was riding my trail bike, I had a heart attack. Seriously. First one, gee, look at me. Who would have thought that I might have a heart attack? But I survived, and the doctor told me there wasn't any damage. I was in the hospital 4 days, had a stent put in. And then I meet with the doctor, and of course he tells me, well, you're going to have to adjust your lifestyle. You're going to have to adjust your diet. You're going to have to get stress out of your life. You're going to have to just overall take all these pills and everything. And I go, well, okay, if I have to, I have to. And then he said, people your age, they need to exercise more, people your size especially. And he said, most people your age and your size, they get a lot of enjoyment out of playing golf. And I said, no, I'm not going to be playing any golf. After what I've just been through, I don't want to go anywhere near there's a hole in the ground. And then he said, after some cardiac rehabilitation, he said, everything seems to be fine, you're doing great. In fact, you can resume all your normal activities, including normal sexual activity. I go, normal sexual activity? I'll say, that's good, because all that kinky shit my wife is putting me through is hurting my back. Okay, there was a few laughs in there. Let me tell you a little bit about my crazy family. First off, I grew up in a small town in northeastern Pennsylvania, and I went to a Catholic school. Anybody Catholic in here? Oh, all right. Do you remember the nuns? Were you ever taught by the nuns? No? Okay, you were fortunate then.
Hello.
Oh boy. Hey.
Did y'all
Can I start over? Oh my gosh. The crowd just came wandering in. Conor McGregor's here, I see. Okay. All right. Welcome, guys. Thanks for stopping by. All right. Now you get to hear a little bit of my life in northeastern Pennsylvania. We went to this elementary school, Catholic school, and even though it was a small Catholic school in a small town, we had a bully. He had been held back 2 years. He was huge compared to the rest of us. And one of his gigs were, if you wanted to, if he came up to you and his shoe was untied, he'd say, hey punk, tie my shoe. We were all terrified of him, so we're all tying his shoe when he comes up to us. It was humiliating. So I finally told my dad, I said, Dad, there's this bully at school. He makes us tie his shoe if it's untied. He's huge. We're all terrified of him, but I'm getting sick of it. What should I do? He goes, bully. Bullies are cowards. He's not going to do anything. He's just doing it because you let him do it. Tomorrow, if he does it to you again, get in his face and say, your dad says you're a coward, you're not going to do anything. So the next day, sure enough, he comes up to me. Shoes untied. Hey, punk, tie my shoe. And I said, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. My dad says bullies are cowards. You're a bully. You're a coward. You're not going to do anything. So forget about bothering me anymore. Get out of my face. And this weird look came over his face, as big as he was. He turned around. He walked slowly over to his bike. He got on his bike, rode over to my house, and beat up my father. Yeah, my dad, after having 4 kids, he decided to have a vasectomy. And there was a complication, and unfortunately he had to remove both his testicles. And they were a little worried about how he was going to take that when he woke up. So he woke up and they said, sir, we're very sorry there was a complication. Your vasectomy is fine, but we had to remove both your testicles. And he said, well, that's unacceptable. I'm going to sue you. I am going to sue the hospital. But first, I'm going to break your jaw. And the doctor leaned back and kind of laughed and said, you ain't got the balls. You saw that one coming. Oh, in that little town in Pennsylvania, my brother became kind of a legend, infamous legend, because at 14, he managed to sleep with a teacher. 14, slept with a teacher. The controversy was he was being homeschooled. My sister was a librarian back then. And one of the things that used to drive her crazy is people would come in and borrow books on suicide, and they'd never bring them back. Oh, yeah. We call them groaners. Okay. But then she said she would play tricks on some of the patrons. Once she had a little fella come in. He's kind of timid, looking around, and said, ma'am, where are the books on paranoia? And my sister looked around and said, they're right behind you! Gotta go with me, you like that. Huh? All right, my wife, sister, has a daughter who is acting weird in a demonic sort of way. So my sister-in-law went out and hired a priest to do an exorcism. Yeah, and it worked. The kid calmed down. Then my sister-in-law didn't pay the priest. So her daughter got repossessed.
Aw.
Yeah. Yeah, yesterday, I had a weird day. I woke up and my wife looks at me and goes, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Nothing, I feel good." She goes, "But you look bad. You might have to do something about that." I said, "Yeah, forget it. I feel good." So I went to work and the receptionist said, "Hey, are you coming in here? You're going to make everybody. You know, when you flash the light at me, I'm 67 years old. I'm not supposed to walk toward the light." Okay.
Don't walk
So
away.
I go in and they say, "You can't come in here. You get everybody else sick. You look bad." And I said, "But I feel good." So, well, I'll go to the doctor just to make sure. So I get in there and the nurse says, "Boy, were you lucky you got here when you did. You look bad." I said, "But I feel good." Go right in there and see the doctor. And the doctor said, "Do you need us to call an ambulance?" And I go, "Why? You look bad." I said, "But I feel good." He says, "Well, that's amazing. Let me look in the computer." Looks good, feels good. That's not it. Looks bad, feels bad. That's not it either. Said, looks good, but feels bad. Not it either. Let me see. Here it is. Looks bad, but feels good. Says here you're a vagina.
Oh, shit.
One last thing. I'm on all the platforms. Notorious bald fat guy. It's not my real name. My real name is Ed, but ED is associated with erectile dysfunction. Tried to put the marshmallow in the coin slot. Doesn't work. So I didn't want to go through life named after a disease. Yeah, because now I know how my sister chlamydia feels.
Oh, hell no.
But one last thing, and I'll say goodnight. I'm on all the platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. But I'm most proud of what I was able to finally post this week. I posted my sex tape.
Oh.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. It's a fabulous one-man show, and I'm the notorious bald fat grandpa. Good night, everybody.
Hey, give it up for the notorious BFG. Give it up one more time. Yes. Can you tell us where we can find that sex tape? No?
Oh, that one's on
I wanna see
Facebook.
it. You want to see